Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Nacho Problems, where we turn ordinary recipes into extraordinary nachos. I'm Nacho Queen, but you can call me M. We're on the move again, and this time we're going to be making a couple of stops in India. First up, we're making Papdi Chaat nachos. I do apologize, I generally like to give you an image of the dish I'm mimicking, but the image service I subscribe to has been failing me with some of these international recipes. Papdi Chaat is a popular street food in India and other countries in the region, and to be honest, it's pretty nacho-esque to begin with. There are crunchy little wafers, several sauces, and toppings. So let's get started. Step 1, the chips. The papdi will of course be our chips, and for that we need 1 cup of maida flour. All-purpose will work if you can't find this. 1 teaspoon carom seeds. These are also known as ajwain seeds. Half a tablespoon oil, plus extra for kneading and rolling, half a teaspoon of salt, between 1/3 and 1/2 cups of water, and oil for frying. Start by combining your flour, carom seeds, half tablespoon of oil, and salt into a medium bowl. Then add in about 1/4 cup of water and mix well. Continue mixing and adding more water a little at a time until you have a firm but not sticky dough. Now, I'm going to be placing a small amount of oil on my hands. This will allow me to knead the dough without it sticking to my hands or having to add more flour. I'm going to knead it for about 5 minutes, then cover and set aside to rest for about 15 minutes. Okay, now that me and the dough have had a little break, we're going to drizzle a little more oil on the counter. Again, this is to keep the dough from sticking. Now just place the dough on the oiled counter and start rolling it out. You want it very thin, maybe about 1/8 of an inch. Next, I'm going to take a round cookie cutter and cut out some chips. Place these on some wax paper until we're ready to fry. We've got frying atoms here heated up to about 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to be frying them for about 5 minutes or until golden brown. Now just tip them into a paper towel lined bowl, and that's our chips. Let's move on to Step 2, the cheese. For our cheese, I'll be making 3 different chutneys. Now, I'm begging you not to laugh too hard, but I have never made a chutney. To be honest, I've never even tried a chutney. And when I told my Indian friends that I made chutney, they looked at me like I had 3 heads and asked why I didn't just buy it at the store. Probably should have consulted with them first, but let's give it a try. First up is a tamarind date chutney, and for that we need 2 cups water, half a cup of tamarind paste, half a cup of pitted dates, half a cup of jaggery. This is kind of similar to a dark brown sugar, but with a richer flavor, so if you can't find it, use that. Half a teaspoon ginger, 1 teaspoon coriander, 1 teaspoon cumin, half a teaspoon red chili powder, 1/4 teaspoon salt. This was supposed to be black salt, but I filmed this before I discovered we had an Indian grocery store in town, and I forgot to order it off Amazon. I did get some from a friend later, and it's I think the term is eggy. It has a strong sulfurous smell that I found unpleasant, but obviously there's a lot of people who like it, so I encourage you to give it a try. Start by bringing the water to boil in a small sauce pot over medium-high heat. Add in the dates and the tamarind paste and cook for about 6 to 8 minutes or until the dates are very soft. Next, add in the jaggery and all the spices. And cook until the jaggery is fully dissolved. Now remove it from the heat and allow it to cool completely. While it cools, we'll work on our next chutney, which is a mint coriander. And for that we need half a cup of mint leaves, 1/4 cup of coriander. This is also called cilantro here in the US. And while I generally avoid it, Jimmy Buffett likes it. And you know, it's kind of an essential ingredient in mint coriander chutney. So 2 teaspoons lemon juice, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and a few tablespoons of water. We're just going to blend up all the ingredients, starting with about 1 tablespoon of water, adding more if we need, until we have a smoothish consistency. Now, I have both a full-size and a mini food processor, and I've struggled to come up with names for them. The big one, who will be back in a few episodes, is a Cuisinart, so I guess he could be Cuisinart Garfunkel, which would make our little friend here Paul Simon. Well, that's one chutney down. Next up is a spicy garlic chutney, and for that we need 1/4 teaspoon salt, half a teaspoon of Kashmiri red chili powder. Look at that color. About 4 cloves of garlic, and a few tablespoons water. Once again, everything goes into Paul Simon here and blend until smooth. Now, because I use the pre-minced garlic and it tends to be rather wet, I didn't need as much water in mine. If you use fresh, you'll probably need more. Okay, my tamarind and dates should be cool by now, so it's into Paul Simon and blend until smooth. But cameraman seems to have missed that. Instead, he got a dizzying shot of himself moving around the kitchen that has strong Blair Witch energy. But that's all for our cheeses, so let's move on to Step 3, the toppings. For our chaat, we need a few dollops of yogurt, 1 can of chickpeas, 1 large or a few small potatoes, half an onion, 1 medium tomato, 1 teaspoon of the Kashmiri red chili powder, substitute paprika or omit entirely if you don't want the heat, 1 teaspoon cumin, 1 teaspoon salt, again this should be the black salt, 1 teaspoon chaat masala, which is a spice blend, 1 teaspoon lemon or lime juice, and half a cup of sev, which are these crunchy little noodles that I was unable to find. The only thing needed here is to dice and boil the potato and cut up the other veggies. So let's skip ahead to Step 4, let's eat. Start off with a nice plate of the Papdis. Top that with some of the chickpeas and potatoes. Sprinkle on a bit of each spice because the potatoes need some flavor. Next up is our chutneys. At this point, I should have added the yogurt, but I placed it back in the fridge in between shots and completely forgot about it. So we'll finish this off with some onions and tomato, and just a splash of lime juice. Jimmy Buffett and Oldson are my taste testers today. Let's see how they like it. They both thought it was good, but there's some definite room for improvement as well. I do think we'll go with the pre-made chutneys next time and try to find the items I missed. But overall, it was good. Well, that's all for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, give it a like and please consider subscribing if you want to see more nacho videos. If you have an idea for a future video, you can leave a comment or I've linked my Blue Sky below. You won't find me on Facebook, Instagram, or Threads, and if Twitter's gone full paywall, you won't find me there either. If you're looking to steal my apron, well, that's nacho merch, but you can get your own at a link in the description. Now, someone in the house just mentioned that October is in 3 days, so I need to go find out where my September went. But I hope that's not your problem. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.